What happened to the music? Okay, here we go. We're starting right now. I'm going right up there. That's the signal. That's the signal. That's the best signal. All right. Everyone find your seat. Shay, find the stage. Okay. Are you having a good time? Yes or yes? All right, all right. So now that you've done and you have a selfie, you've taken your selfie. Here's what you're going to do with the selfie. You're going to post the selfie to social media and use the hashtag. Does anyone remember what the hashtag is? God, you guys are the brilliant. Y'all are smart. Okay, so here's what's going to happen next. We're going to introduce and you're going to have an opportunity to learn about our next keynote presenter. But one thing I know, she's going to be talking about a topic that I am a champion. So the way I like to introduce the video that you're going to watch, we're all going to say, and you're going to repeat after me, that I am a champion. And when you say it, I don't want you just to say it like, I'm a champion, I'm a champion. I want you to say it with energy, with some enthusiasm, as if your dreams depend on it, as if your family depend on it. And then when you leave here, you're going to walk out here not only knowing that you're a champion, but then she's going to teach you and show you how to awaken the champion inside of you, because this is your time. This is your moment. Sometimes you come to a conference, it's no big deal. It's like, oh, well, another conference. But then other times you show up, and it changes your life. And Deborah Gardner's going to change your life if you let her. So if you're ready, say, I'm ready. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I am a champion. That was a practice run. Okay, you ready now for real? Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more time, 1, 2, 3. DJ a little music, 1, 2, 3. Last time, 1, 2, 3. With that being said, coming up next is the woman that's going to rock the world. She's going to introduce you to how to awaken
She's a swimming champion turned author and competitive performance expert. She's better known by many Fortune 500 companies as the pit bull in a miniskirt. She's rising to international prominence with a captivating, entertaining, and humorous, sassy presentation style. Let's welcome Deborah Gardner.
Where's the music? There it is.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. And you're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make a woman.
Wow. Right? Well, hello, successful woman. I have to tell you, I just love that song. I do. I'm a big admirer of Aretha Franklin. I love all her songs, but actually this one makes me laugh. Natural Woman. I don't know about you, but I've been nipped, tucked, plucked, peeled, lightened, whitened, sheared, colored, waxed, and re-waxed. So I don't know if I'm a natural woman, but I'm definitely a successful woman. And I know you are too. How many of you met successful women today? How many of you enjoyed the successful speakers today? How many of you got in 10,000 steps already? A lot of success going on around here. Well, I've always wanted to be successful ever since I was a young girl, actually growing up and living in a trailer, a 16-foot Aristocrat trailer. Oh, that's not it. That's it. That's my brother, that's my sister, and with my parents, there were 5 of us that lived in a one-bedroom, or actually just a one-room trailer. And yeah, it was tough, but you know what? We looked at the bright side of things, we did. Actually, we were very grateful that we had very few windows in our trailer to clean or fix when my brother hit a baseball through it. And if you'll notice, there's a refrigerator on the outside. Well, that's because the bathroom's on the inside somewhere. And we would tell our friends that actually we were celebrities. So when we'd invite them over, we'd say, "Step into my trailer." Yeah, and you know, it was tough. It was really tough, but yet we were pretty grateful because it really made us spend a lot of time outdoors, which is how I actually discovered what is called the Breakfast of Champions: coffee and chlorine. While girls were chasing boys at school, I was actually passing them in lane 4. I swam so much that my skin would wrinkle, and at a very young age, I thought that was an early sign of wisdom, so I showed them off. I had more lotion and hair products in my swim bag than there are at Bath and Body Works. And that slimy green hair, oh yeah, that was a lovely sight. I actually had to shampoo my hair with tomato soup every day just to get that green out. And being allergic to chlorine meant 2, sometimes 3 showers a day. But that was my sport. That was my life since I was 7 years old. So between living in a small trailer and growing up and swimming in a big pool at the same time, I can control a lot of things, but then there were a lot of things I could not control. At the age of 21, my dream of actually becoming an Olympic star was actually becoming a reality, to go to the Olympics. All the sweat and tears, the 5 a.m. practices, eating like a horse was actually ready to be paid off. But then I got the announcement from the United States that boycotted Russia. January 20th, 1980. Russia was where they were going to host the Olympics. And when I got that news, my dream was crushed. Working out almost every day since I was 7 years old, working so hard to have something taken away from you so quickly was very devastating. I actually cried for weeks. And then I finally had to get the nerve to tell my parents and have a conversation with them. And when I did, I told them, I'm quitting swimming and I'm dropping out of school. And my parents said to me, Deborah, you quit, you will regret it for the rest of your life. Sometimes in life, things happen for a reason. And some things can be in your control, and some things will not be in your control. But yet, if you're able to reframe the situation and learn by it, utilizing that information and learning by it, and progress, starting now, you will get back that control and discover your real success. And then they went on to say, be proud of what you have accomplished. Now be proud of what you're about to accomplish. Now, I had to think about that really deeply because I didn't understand it, because all I knew was swimming. That's all I did all my life. But then I thought, wait a minute. I was a straight A student. I was president of my class. I was homecoming queen. I was team captain of the cheerleading squad. Well, that's the advantages of being homeschooled. Yeah. While living in a trailer. But when they said, be proud of what you're about to accomplish, that is when I knew it was time to awaken my inner champion. How about you? Whether it's your personal or your professional life, I'm sure there's struggles. I'm sure there's challenges you're dealing with. Maybe it's not having green hair like me or being allergic to chlorine. Maybe not having your dream crushed right before your eyes, or maybe you have. Maybe it's 24/7 connectivity that you have to deal with, deadline restraints, health issues, balancing work and family life. And some things you can control, and other things you cannot control, and that is hard. So today, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you on a journey on the lessons that I have actually learned that helped me discover and awaken my inner champion so that you can awaken your inner champion too. Why? Because behind every successful woman is herself. And as a competitive swimmer, and still a competitive swimmer to this day, I speak this language. Start. It starts with you. Be the energy that you want to attract. Streamline so that you take your wisdom, the knowledge that you have, and experiencing it firsthand. And then swim. Swim it into action so that you can say these 3 powerful words, and I want you to repeat after me so you can rattle the walls I am a champion. Do we have successful women in the house? Yes or yes? Woo! Do you want to have fun and celebrate the day in particular? Yes or yes? Great. I think we should celebrate my birthday today, too. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Well, let's start with start. It starts with you. See, I'm a big believer that 75% of the time, women underestimate their true values, their talents, their knowledge for better results. As a matter of fact, I just read about a survey that there are fewer than 15% of women that are self-made millionaires. And the reason why, they said the number one reason why, is because women have a tendency to take care of others before themselves. But yet the truth is, you can't change what goes on around you until you change what goes on within you. That is where the inner champion comes from. It's about that area. And as Sean Harper said this morning, it's about winning, right? To be successful, it is about winning. We all want to win. We don't want to lose. Well, I think the only time we don't mind losing is our weight. Trust me, I have tried to get back to my original weight of 7 pounds, 8 ounces. Not happening. Not happening. But yet, what is it about being successful? What is it about wanting more success? Or what does that inner champion look like to you? And yet, you have to define it yourself. There's all kinds of definitions out there, but until you discover it within yourself, it's going to be hard to move forward. And I know sometimes defining that can be hard, but yet, I actually was able to meet up with some brilliant experts that do have the answers to this, and to help us with that momentum, I thought I would share this with you. Hey, Hudson, you ready? Define competition.
Competing? Competing just means you have to do your best in order to make yourself feel good.
I go to Chuck E. Cheese and I win things.
It means that you worked really hard and you won.
Do you know what competition means?
Yeah.
What does competition mean to you?
Oh, I forgot.
I'm definitely the biggest competitor.
Do you want to win?
Yeah.
And do you like to win?
Yes.
Who usually wins?
Me. No, me. Me. Mama.
And do you have any secrets to winning?
Practicing every day. To have confidence in yourself, I like to do my best.
Be kind.
Putting your heart into it.
And what happens when you win?
You win the lottery. You get a life. I feel like $1 million. It feels good.
When you win, you get very excited and then you like to tell your mom.
And do you ever lose?
Yes, but when you win a lot and you lose, it just makes you a bad sport. But if you lose and win, like a little bit of both, it just makes you a good sport because you don't like go, oh, I just lost.
When you lose, you just lose.
Does competition also mean that you compete with yourself?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's fun.
Show me how you act when you win.
I'm bouncing up and down and happy and dancing. I'm really proud of myself. Oh my gosh, I just won! Yes!
So what are you competitive at?
Being strong.
And what is your main advice when competing?
Be happy.
Tell me how you act when you're happy.
I act happy. I'm happy. Happy. Happy.
Do you have one tip for anyone out there that's watching this on how to win, be successful, or compete?
Yes.
What?
I hope you get to win too. Head down.
Oh, isn't that cute? I just want to hug them, right? Well, how many of you have kids? How many ever seen a kid before? Just want to make sure. What's going on in here in Mississippi? Well, my husband and I, we actually just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. Yeah. In wife terms, that's 145 years. But we don't have kids. As a matter of fact, a good friend of mine said, Deborah, you're child-free, not childless. Those that have children are child-blessed, unless they have a 4-year-old or a teenager. Is that true? Well, anyway, we did adopt. Yes, I am a mommy, and I am not being biased whatsoever, but I got the cutest 10-year-old boy. I do. And he's furry. He has 4 paws. He's the one on the bottom. So I get it. I'm a dog mom. I'm close enough. But think about what kids have to say today. Do they not prevail the truth? They do. To be successful can be really actually on an easier, simpler term. But yet we want to make it very difficult. We're looking for that shiny penny or that secret sauce of what's going to make us successful. But yet if we follow what the kids told us, what were some of the things they said? Have fun. Be happy. Have confidence. I mean, yeah, all those things. And I love the one, be strong. How did they show you to be strong? Yeah, let's see you all without hitting your elbows against your neighbor. Just be strong, right? Yes, those are things. And yet what they're trying to tell us is stick with the basics, the foundations. We make it too hard on ourselves. Give yourself a break on trying to knock through to find that success. But if you keep it very simple, you'll see a difference in your life. And it could be something as simple as being a loving parent. It could be being the best you can as a singer in the church choir. It could be being a great listener. There's all different ways of dealing with that, and yet we want to make it hard on ourselves. But to be the best, you have to take a risk. It's about taking more risks. And I believe women are not taking enough risks. We're not. We can do this. And it doesn't have to be a major risk. It can be very subtle and simple risks to deal with. And yet risk today is not like it's not a risk-tolerant type of society. Nobody wants to take a risk. But yet without it, what suffocates is innovation, creativity, and more success. So think about more risk. Even if you can just lay your head at night on the pillow and say, hey, I took this one step, this little risk that made a difference in my life. Because here's the truth. You are not required to set your hair on fire to keep others warm. You're not. You're not. So recognize that it starts with you. It starts with you. Be accountable for you. Spend time just for you. Do I hear those powerful words as loud as you can? I am a champion? I am a champion. Good. Knowing that it starts with you is very, very important. Because when you do, it's a matter of streamlining. Let me explain this. See, people say that those that go to the Olympics are no different than those that just came short of going to the Olympics. Yes, finishing is important, but yet what's missing a lot of times is the journey of what we do. See, instant gratification, there's no surveys that say instant gratification provides success. There's none. So it's all within the journey. You've heard it said before, it's not the destination, it's the journey. But what do we want to do? We want to get to the results so fast that yet we're not really paying attention to what path we should be taking to get to that result. Kiva said it this morning with the young group. She did a fabulous job. She was teaching them how to say no and when to say yes. And it was brilliant because that's a path that will take you somewhere within your life based on that decision of saying yes or no. And that was a prime example of it. So streamlining is a new life and business term you're going to start hearing. So what is streamlining? Streamlining is a focused path that is created through a flow of movement where there's least resistance. How many of you swim or like to swim or want to know how to swim, or maybe you know somebody that swims? Do we have any swimmers? Yeah, okay. Well, in the sport of swimming, there's over 660,000 gallons of water in a 50-meter Olympic-sized pool. And my goal is to be as aerodynamic, in control, with least resistance as much as possible under the water, which is a different technique. You swim more underwater than on top of the water. And you'll see this if you watch the Olympics this summer, the swimming part, you're going to see more swimmers swimming underwater as opposed to on top. Why is that? Well, it came from a study of dolphins. When you watch dolphins, and they're beautiful when they swim on top of the water, right? You can see their fin, you can see the water flowing off their skin, you can even see their eyes. But if you see them swim underwater, and you can see those on YouTube, they are going so fast you can hardly see their eyes and their skin, because what they're doing is they're finding air pockets underneath the water that allows them to swim 3 times faster underwater than on top. And because of this, the swimming world has caught on to this. And it's the same thing in life and business. You can streamline by getting to the point, getting to your goals, by learning techniques, strategies, and skills and methods. And that's why this conference is perfect, because this is an example of streamlining. For the next couple of days, that's what you're doing to get to your end result. And that's why learning and being here together and supporting one another is really important. So the main point here is that what you want to think about is the plan is great, but the process is king. So have patience in anything and everything that you learn, and you'll see the end result happen just the way you want it to, if not even better. So my thing is here, slow down to speed up. That's what it's all about. Slow down to speed up. Give yourself a break and not feel like you have to run off to different areas all the time in the fast lane. You can slow down and get the same result as long as you're patient and deal with what you want to learn along the way. So, do I hear you say as loud as you can, rattle the walls, I am a champion? I'm a champion. Excellent, excellent. Because once you streamline, because you already know it starts with you, and once you streamline and have the patience to learn what you have to learn, then it's just a matter of putting it into action. Putting it into action. Swimming it into action. See, here's the thing. If you learn one idea or two or maybe three here during the conference and you actually streamline it and put it into action, this was a very successful time for you. Because you don't want to embrace everything at once, but if you focus on that one, two, or three things and put it into action, you're going to have more success. But here's the thing. Action equals results. No action equals results. Just depends on what kind of results you want. But here's the thing. You were made to move. You were made to move. You were made to step up and take action on what you know, the wisdom that you learned here, and put it into action the way you want to, the way you want to implement it, in other words. And that way, you can decide what works for you and what doesn't work for you, what motivates you, what drives you, because you have to be accountable for you to make that happen. Let me give you an example. Shoes. How many of you look at shoes as merely something to keep your bare feet from touching the ground? And how many of you have so many shoes you can open up a shoe museum? Yeah, my people, shoeaholics, right? Well, here's the thing. Shoes you can tell a lot about a woman by her shoes. You can. My husband, Jerry, said that one time I packed 5 pairs of shoes for an overnight stay. And I said, what? Are you crazy? I didn't just do that once. No. But shoes are an example that I use to help move me forward. I love shoes. I use them as a vehicle that propels me to go where I want to go in life. That's what I utilize it for. As a matter of fact, before this conference, I went shopping. I looked for a dress. I saw a purse, but instead, I bought these. And guess what? They were on sale. They were, yes. I mean, how much do you know how much you pay for shoes? I mean, right? So when you see them on sale, I don't know about you, but it's a big deal. It is a big deal to me. Now, not everyone likes shoes. I get that. But yet, they can be entertaining, and they can be really fun to make fun of, especially when they're not yours. So actually, here's an opportunity. Since I found these on sale, you know what I do when I do find them on sale? I bring them out and show them to my friends. It's shoe and tell time. How many of you want to meet my shoes? Come on, I know you do. I want to show you how you can express yourself just by a pair of shoes. Are you ready? You want to judge my shoes? You're welcome to it. All right, let's do this. I always admired Cinderella because buying a new pair of shoes, she knows it can change a woman's life. Well, forget the glass slipper. This princess wears bowling shoes. I do. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Bowling shoes. Not bad looking, right? How many of you like to bowl? Yeah? Oh, good. There's more of my peeps. Great. Okay. Well, bowling shoes say to me that I want to be athletic. I do. But yet also it's tough when you have to actually handle a bowling ball in one hand and a beer in another. But thank goodness women are multitaskers. This is when it comes into play, right? So you bowlers, keep it going. You can multitask too. So I like to bowl. Well, next up, looking at these ugly shoes. Anybody have a pair of ugly shoes? Yeah, you would think these have already been condemned by the health department. The heels are still there, barely. Yes, but you know what? Until God tells me to get rid of them, I'm keeping them. Yeah, I like them. I'm keeping them. All right, now these are not my typical shoes. But yet, as a swimmer, you know I probably wear these quite a bit, especially when I have no time for a pedicure. I definitely like these, but they do make my feet look big. There's no doubt about it, and they're very uncomfortable, but I don't care because they're flippin' awesome, right? Okay, want to see a little bit more? This one are one of my favorite shoes. These communicate one thing: leave me alone. It's me and Netflix on the couch. This is one time you don't have to communicate with me. The only way I will get up is if I have to answer the door for Uber Eats. Oh, and the other good thing about these, it tells Jerry, nah, I'm not feeling the romance tonight. Maybe later, and not later tonight. No. Now we're talking. Yes. These little shiny puppies. Anybody have a pair of these? Yeah, these are nice, right? When they ever come out. But if you go to a bar with me and I'm wearing one of these, you can probably bet that it most likely will end up in the ER or jail or both. But darn, I always get such great compliments from ladies in the restroom, so I think they're kind of worth it. But if I did end up in the ER, 6 weeks in a walking cast is a small price to pay to spice up a 20-year marriage. Wouldn't you think? Yes, definitely. So there you go. Just like in life, it's a matter of expressing yourself. And I express myself through shoes. That's what I do. And you, no matter if it's shoes or not, or if they're on sale or not, shoes or anything that you want to express yourself, choose something and think about this. Because just like the kids even said, all the things they said, keep it basic, right? Whether it's be kind or have confidence or have courage, all those things matter. And I believe women should also hear nice shoes. It's an affirmation. It's a validation. It's just for us. Nice shoes. So what I'd like for you to do now is I would like for you to turn to people next to you, and I want you to say as loud as you can, nice shoes to your neighbors. Ready? Go. Now, honestly, did you just steal a pair of shoes from a stranger that you liked? But think about this. How about just appreciating their choice of style, whether it is. So why don't we keep that momentum going here at the conference? Let your sisters know. Instead of saying hello, just say, hey, nice shoes. It's a nice thing to hear, right? Something new and different. Just appreciating who they are, respecting what they do and how they do it. But let me forewarn you, just like in life, there might be beautiful shoes out there, but there's also torn shoes. There's bad, ugly shoes. There's all kinds of shoes. Like Sean mentioned earlier, life can hit you. Things are going to happen, and they might not even like your shoes either. Things happen for a reason, right? But yet, taking that and understanding that and knowing that life will get you down sometimes. And when it does, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be failure, but yet there's no success without failure. And though you're going to have to just deal with some things. But let me tell you, who will always be there for you? Always. Who will be there for you? Dishes. Dishes, for some reason, they just happen to always be there for you. I don't know why that is, but they love to hang around, definitely. But yet failure is an option. It is. It's something that we need to start embracing and not be afraid of, especially when you want to take risks. Taking risks are really, really important. Let me talk to you a bit about risk, because risk doesn't have to be a big deal at all. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Everybody get your cell phone out right now. Get your cell phone right out. Oh, surprise, it's already out. Right? Have it out in front of you. Hold it up high. Hold it up high. All right. Okay. Everybody got it? Oh, it looks like a concert. All right. Here's what I want you to do with your phone. I want you to give it to the person next to you. Let them have it. Give it to them. Did you just give your life away? Oh. That is huge, right? Well, here's what you just did. You just took a risk, right? And you chose courage over comfort. That's what you just did. Courage over comfort. So you should congratulate yourself, but yet even have fun with it, right? Okay, do you want your phones back? All right, you can have your phone back. See, it's not that bad to take a risk, right? If anything, it can be fun. So choose courage over comfort, and you will see more success. There's no doubt. And you will win. There's no doubt. So know that failure can be there even when you take a risk. But here's the thing. If you're afraid to fail, you'll never know what to learn. Take it from this woman.
For the first time ever, Ruth Ann Gardner wears a cap and gown, but it's not the first time she has been a college student. Her life changed forever on a college campus 53 years ago when she met another student, her husband Jody. They fell in love and got married. Jody became a Marine. Ruth Ann dropped out of school to support him.
My whole life was really devoted to him.
The couple had 3 children. Jody's job often took him away from his family. Ruth Ann managed the home front.
They were more important than I was at that, Anybody being a mother would probably understand that. Education was really put on the back burner.
Ruth Ann later became a collegiate tennis coach. Her husband, a D1 basketball coach. His career continued to move the couple around the world. That meant Ruth Ann would enroll in classes and then drop out until she finally went back to school and completed her degree in exercise science this year at Grand Canyon University.
I really encourage people to go back to school because they'll be surprised how well they'll do because of their maturity and all the experiences they've had in life.
Tomorrow when she walks, the woman who perseveres, according to her husband, will feel a sense of triumph.
Come a long way. It's just very emotional. It makes me feel so good that I've accomplished this. And I've tried so long and I kept getting stalled, kept delayed, and it's finally here. And it's just a wonderful feeling.
And not only did this woman graduate at the age of 76, a year later she went for her master's degree in leadership. How do I know? That's my mother. I know. And her motto is keep learning. You're never too young or too old to hustle. She is my inspiration, and I know you have an inspiration too. And the beauty of this inspiration is that I'm very lucky to also have an inspiration, her sister, my aunt, Dee Taylor, who is here at a conference with me, thanks to Karen and Dorothy for making that happen with her as well. So even though my childhood was growing up in a small trailer and while swimming in a big pool, and some things I could control and other things I could not control, but yet when I started looking within, I knew that it had to start with me, and I had to streamline. That was something that was important to me. But yet performance is hard. It's hard to do. I knew I still had to swim it, everything I wanted into action, or it just would not work at all. And yet that is exactly what I want you to do too, because the thing here is that not everything's going to be in your control. If anything, it's how you respond when it's not in your control. It's real easy when things are in your control, but responding is very important when things don't go your way. And here's the other thing. You don't have to know it all. Gosh, if I had to know everything, give me CPR to the heart. I mean, you can't know it all. And yet also, we need to start asking more for help. Help. We want everybody to come in and we want to help them. But yet, why not ask for help? I guarantee you will never get a no. You'll never get a no. And also, don't worry about change. You don't need to change. Change is automatic. Change happens every day, all day. You get up in the morning, the weather changes. Look what happened here today. Your body's going to change. Your kids are going to change. Things are going to change. The key here is progress. Make sure that you progress some way, somehow. And when I started doing that, I did discover my real success. And that is being here with you. The bold, the beautiful, the connected, the inspirational, the enthusiastic, the involved. This is why I do what I do. This has been my real success, even a longer career than my swimming career. And I've totally enjoyed the real success that I live today. So I want to share with you what my parents said to me. Be proud of what you have accomplished. Now be proud of what you're about to accomplish. So I want you to say as loud as you can, rattle the walls, I am a champion. I am a champion. This is a great time to be a woman. So, oh, I love this. I love these women. So go ahead and PMS. Purchase more shoes. And here's the thing. Why? Shoes are good for a woman's soul. And a woman's soul. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The 80s are back. And apparently, they never left my closet. They never did. And let me tell you something. The reason why? Because of proof. Why not, right? Let me prove it to you.
You keep saying you got something for me, something you call love, but confess. And now someone else is getting all your best. But you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
All right, it's your turn, make them right. Come on.
You keep playing where you shouldn't be playing. And you keep thinking that you'll never get burned. Ha! I just found me a brand new box of matches. Yeah. And what he knows you ain't had time to learn. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
Ooh, good job. All right, keep it going.
For the next 7 days. 7 times a day for the next 7 days. I want you to tell yourself, I am a what? Champion. I am a what? Champion. And I won't be there, but you will be there. And when you hear those words, I want you to remember the moment that you were sitting here and what was going through your mind. Because you're not only a champion for yourself, but you're a champion for your family, you're a champion for your loved ones, and you're a champion for the vision for the people you were called to serve. And that is what it's all about at the end of the day. So with that being said, we're now going to move towards having a panel. We're going to have a panel, and we're going to call them up, and that's a cue that I'll need a chair. That's okay. That's relax. They'll relax. I'll get the chair. They'll get it. They'll get it. That's the cue. They'll get a chair. We'll get a chair. We'll get a chair. Say, I'm a champion. One more time. I'm a champion. And why don't we give it up for the cameraman? Say, thank you, cameraman. I knew someone would come up. Give him a high five. See, you were not going to have to do it. You were not going to have to do it. You were not going to have to do it. There you go. There you go. There you go. Great. They'll get it all lined up. Let's give them a hand one more time. Because they are what? And they stepped up to the plate. They could have sat there and said, well, I'll see what happens. I'll be there. But no. They said, I'm going to step up, and I am a champion. All right, now we're getting to the most important part. I say that every single time, don't I? Because it is the most important part, because you're here. Wherever you are, be there. We're going to bring up to the panel next level thinking. And first, coming to us, none other than the one and the only, the lovely Jewel Tankard. Give it up for Jewel Tankard, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for Jewel Tankard. Hey. Now you have to walk and take a bow. So stand right here. And you have to look that way, and you have to take a bow. Give her a hand. There you go. All right, next, coming to the stage, none other than the one and the only Lauren Fogelman. Let's give her a hand. You gotta walk up. You gotta bow. You gotta bow. Take a bow. There you go. They love you. And coming to the stage next, Darnyelle Jervey, all the way from Delaware. There you go. Now you know what to do, right? We actually talked about this. You take a bow. Let's give her a hand. There you go. All right. Y'all are smiling and looking at me. So the topic is next level thinking. But in all honesty, when I first read it, I was wondering what in the LL Cool J is next level thinking. And so what's going through your mind? So what I'd like for you to do, if you can, I'll give you each 2 minutes. Talk about first, what is next level thinking? Give us your view of the world. And then what is the next level of thinking for you? 2-part questions, 2 minutes. How long did I say they have each? Okay, good. I just want to make sure. 2 minutes each. We'll start with Darnyelle Jervey.
Hello. So for me, next level thinking means operating day by day from my vision point and not my vantage point, right? See, most of us, we make decisions based on where we are right now versus where we're going. And I just happen to believe that because we've all been given a vision, a provision has already been made for that vision. I say all the time that God already, he had the solution before you had the problem. So if we decided, instead of looking at where we are in this moment, we thought about where we wanted to be, then we would be next level thinking. So for me personally, next level means continuing to get out of my comfort zone. You may or may not believe this. If you know me, then you might even know what I'm going to say. I am an introvert. Now, if you were in my session earlier, you probably don't believe that. Look, she's shaking her head like, no, you're not. I am. And when I'm not on, because this is my gift, this is what God brought me here to do. So I am all about fulfilling my divine mandate. But when I'm not doing it, I go back to my comfort zone, which is being behind the scenes, no one making a big deal about who I am and what it is that I bring to the table. So next level for me is about getting out of my own way and thinking about those that I'm here to serve, and to make sure that I'm consistently operating at a level of excellence that inspires other people. And so for each and every one of you successful women out there, you're all here to lead and influence the lives of others. And so next level is not about you, right? When I think about 2020, I think about next level everything. So next level mindsets. If you own your own business, next level marketing, next level sales, next level pricing. For those of you who you're raising your rates is overdue, it's about operating from your vision point and not your vantage point. Because I'm sure that if we had time and we asked everybody what it is that you endeavored to do, what was on your vision board at home, or what was the one thing you're praying and craving and seeking all of the time, you could rattle it off, every single one of you. So it's not enough to know that vision from where you are in this moment. It's about to thinking about where that vision is going to take you and how you're going to actually do the work to get there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. Thank you so much. Okay. Next.
Next level thinking for me is really, this is a team effort here. Am I on now? No. Okay, next level thinking for me is about getting out of my own way, because I am fiercely independent. I want to be able to figure things out myself. I don't like asking for help. And I realize that I'm the bottleneck to my own success. So when I had a counseling agency with my husband where we were focusing on substance abuse and addictions, and my place was working with high-level professionals that had a combination of addictions and post-traumatic stress disorder, I was Miss Know-It-All. I had that persona. I wanted to be seen in a certain way. And as a result of that, it actually shut me down and kept me from growing, because I wasn't open to learning from other people. When I got on the verge of burnout and I recognized that I needed to move in a different direction because the cost was too high, where I was sacrificing so much of not being available to my family in evenings because I was working with clients, not on the weekends because I was doing paperwork. I recognized that I had to really shift my attitude and become open to receiving from other people. I couldn't just give, because it was just draining me and the cost was too high, not just for me, but to my family. When I moved in the direction of being a pricing strategist, helping entrepreneurs connect with their value, I had to first connect with my value in order to be able to help others figure out how to do that for themselves. That meant being open-minded, being able to receive as well as to give, and recognizing that I don't know it all, and that I'd rather surround myself with people who play at what I struggle at. That is a writer-downer. You want to surround yourself with people who play at the things that you struggle at. You don't want to be the one to do it all, because you're probably doing many things in your business that are below your pay grade. And if you are doing work that's below your pay grade, then you want to get it off your plate, because you are very, very talented and you could probably do it all. In the beginning you are, but you want to build a team that is smarter than you are. And start to get the things that you struggle with and feel like punishment off your plate, and pass them on at someone who loves to play at the things that you struggle at, so you can do your highest level work. And your highest level work is the things that come easy to you, they're natural, and you minimize them. My clients affectionately call them their superpower. Figure out your superpower. And the last thing is that if it's uncomfortable, you ought to be doing it.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Let me try. Okay, I think they got it together. Did they get it together? Can y'all hear me? I get the other mic. All right, child. All right, so I would say next level thinking is putting yourself in a position to understand that everything in the world is like changing. Like everything is changing. And so just because you were doing it that way 5 years ago and maybe it was effective and maybe it worked, realize that you have to be like really curious. You almost have to be like, okay, I'm going to be like that teenage girl that asks a lot of questions. I'm going to mastermind. I'm going to sit down with other people that are playing it really big, that are doing really big things, that are making really big moves, and really, really put yourself in a position to say, you know what, I'm literally like re-educating myself all over again. Like everything is changing, how money moves, how money is transacted, how people make money. Like there are more multimillionaires being made right now than any other time in the world. And so when you start thinking about your business or whatever you're doing, and I'm going to say business because we're at a success conference, realize like probably how you're running your business today, it's probably a way that you can do it and implement a system or bring on a skill set that would totally take it to the next level. So I think that new level thinking just means that, you know what, I got to be willing to put new disciplines in my life. I need to get curious again. I need to ask questions, and I need to keep myself surrounded around people that are doing things much differently than I am. You don't want everybody in the room doing like the same thing. You want to bring that variety in because that's going to help shape, you know, what you do and how you go. Because even if your business was effective 5 years ago, if you don't change it, you could literally become very obsolete. For example, when you look at like Facebook, people that were resistant to maybe doing Facebook, well, they'll have a hard time with flourishing in Instagram. But there are more businesses and just personal brands that are being developed on Instagram, posting stories. Like it's a whole narrative about who you are. So if you won't play in Facebook, then you're probably not going to play on Instagram, which means that you're really pushing your brand and your story further away from you because this is the way that the world is going. And so now there's Snapchat. And guess what? There's going to be something else that drops. So if you don't begin to embrace these things and implement these things and find your space in those things, and your space doesn't have to be my space. You could do your own thing. You might love cooking, so then you need to show different recipes, different seasonings. Like people globally need to know who you are. So I think when you think now, you can't just think about a local business. You have to think about a global brand that you're building.
So good, so good. Now, the folks that are here, give her a hand, sorry. The folks that are here, they're already winners, right? They're already champions. They're already thinking the next level because they're here. But I want to make sure they got your perspective and your view of the world. One of the questions that has to be going through the mind is, you know, the best intentions really don't equal the best results. So the question is, now that I have this next level of thinking, now that I believe, what is 1, 2, or 3 ideas or strategies so they can take action and get the results, right? Take action and get the results. So take a minute or two, if you will, and share maybe 1 or 2 of your ideas or strategies that someone can take away and they can use it when they walk through those doors today.
So I would say first, get crystal clear about what it is that you desire. I want you to notice that I said desire and not want, because want is a lack word. We live in an abundant universe. There is nothing lacking. Everything you desire is here right now. So get clear about what it is that you desire in every area of your life. So there are 7 or 8 areas, depending upon, you know, which you focus on of your life. Take the time to figure out what it is that you truly desire in each of them. Then do an assessment. This is what I desire, but this is where I am now. We've got to expose the gap. Once you identify what the gap is, you can then become clear what you'll need to do in order to begin to fill the gap. Once you know what your gap is, this is step number 3, you're going to see what you already have in your toolkit or arsenal to fill the gap. And if you don't have what is needed to fill the gap, then you're going to seek mentorship, coaching, counseling, support, consulting, whatever it might be, in order to fill in that gap and get the accountability that you need so that you do the 4th step. Once the gap has been exposed and identified and we know exactly what we need to do, we need to walk in that thing. Step by step, one at a time, doing something every single day. And I would also encourage every single one of you to, whether it's on your phone or like for me in my office, it's above my door. Did I do something today that moved the needle in every area of my life? That's my first question. And then my second question is my vision becoming clearer because I have impacted someone else today? If you have that check-in point after you've done the assessment and validated what the gaps are and what's needed to expose those gaps, and you're moving consistently in them, the vision that you had will become your next level quicker than you ever thought possible.
Lauren?
Your highest value is what you know, not what you do. When you are connecting with people, you want to come from your highest value and really recognize that what's in your head is your highest value. It's not about how you do it. It's not about the systems necessarily. It's about the outcome and the benefit for your client. Therefore, when you start to look at everything that you do 4 levels of things. You do what is your superpower, which I already spoke about, where your brilliance and your genius is. You also do areas of excellence. Areas of excellence are things that you do exceptionally well, but after about a half hour or so, you get bored and you're ready to move on. You do things that are competencies. You do them because you have to and you can, but you really don't have any passion for them. And then you have incompetencies, the things that feel like punishment. And you would love to have just go away. What you want to do to be able to advance your business is take all those things that are incompetencies and get them off your plate. After you do that, look at the competencies and start to get those off your plate. You want to actually spend 80% of your time in your areas of excellence and your superpowers. When you do that, you're positioned as a trusted advisor, helping other people be able to excel and lift them up. And as they lift them up, as you lift them up, they lift you up. I believe that as entrepreneurs, if we empower entrepreneurs, we empower the world.
That's good. Okay, can you ask the question again?
The question is,
That was good what y'all
what is
said,
the 1 or 2 strategies that someone needs to do in order to implement and reach their next level of thinking? What is something they can do in order to make it a reality?
So I would say definitely become this wildly research and developer, right? So you're researching, you're asking questions, and then exposure, getting around people that do what you want to do at a really big level, like travel, everything is not going to be, you're going to be able to do everything virtually or at home, getting in those environments, which is why the Success Conference is so good, but getting around people that are really doing it at a big level. And then, take maybe 1 or 2 things that you've seen or heard that they've done, and then start doing it every day, right? A lot of times people are like, oh, when did you realize you became successful? Or when did you realize your net worth was whatever? Well, it was repeating the same behavior every single day. And then also understanding, not fighting, because women in particularly, we want to be balanced. But the reality is, when you in the grind and you in the trenches, you might have seasons where you are completely out of balance, and it's just going to be that way for a season. And so it's important that you don't compare yourself to other women who are maybe not quite as hungry as you, but it might take you 10-hour days, 12-hour days, hitting the phones, doing webinars, going to meetings. Be willing to actually put the work in. You can't start a project based on emotion, because there's going to be some days you wake up and be like, I don't feel like doing that. So I think whatever you do, make sure that you're willing to put that time in and realize it might take you hours and hours and hours every day, every week, every month, because you're building a brand, you're creating a narrative, you're creating a story. You want people to be able to look at your life and see that you're a storyboard. So one of the strategies might be, while you're doing that, create your own reality TV show by posting it on Instagram, putting videos on Instagram TV, putting things on your story, putting things on Facebook, and they should all have a thread. Nobody wants to hear you whine and talk about somebody hurt your feelings. No, not that stuff. The stuff that's really getting you, that's really developing you. Tell that story, because people like to see people's process. So even if you say, I'm in a 2-bedroom apartment right now, that's okay, because there are going to be a lot of people that you can relate to. So I would say start implementing social media and what you're doing, and stay consistent on it. And it doesn't always have to be a pretty story. It could be, You know, I'm in the trenches right now. I'm doing the work. And I'll just give you one quick example. I'm a big real estate investor in the city of Detroit. I'm from Detroit. So I go into like the hood and I bought all these like properties in blight areas, like places that if you went, you'd be like, I don't even want to get out the car. I get out the car, I go in there, I talk to the contractors, I talk to the neighbors, I tell the neighbors that I'm trying to improve the home. So when people see me, they don't just see, oh, she's a successful real estate investor, but I actually get in the trenches. I actually go into the communities. Like, that's an important narrative because sometimes people want all of this stuff, but you're not really willing to get in the trenches. So whatever you do, get in the trenches.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're going to go like 1 minute kind of rapid fire. So we'll go 1 minute, Lauren, you, and then Danielle, and then Jill Tankard. Here's the 1 minute question. Who was a mentor that shifted your thinking, and what was the lesson that you learned from them that you would want to share with everyone here? Because everyone has someone along the way that helps them. Success indeed is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. So Lauren, we'll start with you.
Mm-hmm. The mentor that I had, I've been having business coaches since I got into business coaching myself because I want to surround myself with people who have already become successful at what I want for myself. My last one, her name is Eleanor Baton out of Canada. What I found from her is about really owning my platform, figuring out what my message is, what is the transformation, and then doing it even if not everybody is on board with it and okay with it. It is okay to be controversial, and that pushback is a good thing. So own your message, speak your truth, and don't temp it down for anybody.
Good job, good job.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is go back, way back. So the mentor that probably influenced my life the most was my 5th and 6th grade teacher, Mrs. Dixon. Miss Dixon was amazing to me. When I came into her class, I was an angry little black girl. My mom had just gone to jail during my 8th birthday party, and we went to live with my father and stepmom, who told us every day that she didn't want us there. So I was angry, and I felt like I deserved it. But Miss Dixon did not see angry black girl. She saw black girl with potential, and she handed me my first journal. It was nothing special. It was one of those composition notebooks, and she said, Darnell, you will miss your potential if you don't channel your anger. Every time you get angry, I want you to write. And so for 2 straight weeks, it only took me 2 weeks to fill my journal, I wrote. And when the 2 weeks was up, I was light. I felt euphoric. I ran back to Miss Dixon. I couldn't wait to get off the bus. I was knocking kids over, trying to get to Miss Dixon to tell her that I found my purpose. And that was that I wanted to use words to help people change their life. And so to this day, I've written books. I speak on stages. I have an MBA in marketing. I love words. I got a perfect verbal SAT score, and I love using words to help people to change their life.
Good, very good.
So I kind of have 2. So my parents, because they were the first African Americans to open a business downtown Detroit, and they made an amazing name for themselves. Even today, when I go back home, people know who they were. They had a chain of record stores, and I saw my parents really hustle. They were like a power couple before power couples really came out. And I saw my dad, who is an amazing producer even to this day. But what I learned from my mother is that you have a voice where your money is concerned. She would let my father make all of the financial decisions, and even though Daddy's an amazing producer, he was not the best manager or investor. And so what I learned from her is that no matter how successful your husband is, you still need to have your own money, period, end of the story. I want every woman to be independently wealthy. And then the second mentor was Kim Kiyosaki, Robert Kiyosaki's wife. I recently just had her on my show. We taped in Detroit, and she owns about 7,000 units all by herself. Now, Robert Kiyosaki, you know him from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, but I love her because her whole thing is, that's great, your husband is successful, but every woman needs to have her own independent wealth, and you need to learn how to trust your own financial instinct, that you do not necessarily need. You can love your husband. He can be your sweet, dang, all of that. I love my husband. We have a great relationship. I'm married to Ben Tanker. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. But I still have my own money, and I make my own decisions where my money is concerned. There's sometimes I consult him, but sometimes I just move. And that's like amazing freedom. So both of those people had an impact on my life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a hand. Next level, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's give him a hand one more time. Take a bow. Take a bow, ladies. Take a bow. Take a bow. There you go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You make it down there? Of course you can. You got it. Don't fall. Yeah, go real slow. My heels. Go real slow. Oh, you jumping down. What you doing? One more time. Let's give him a hand. One more time. Let's give him a hand one more time. Okay. Next, we're going to have remarks from the founder of Black Woman Startup, none other than E.R. Spalding, who will be closing up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for E.R. Spalding, who will be giving us the closing remarks this evening. One more time. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Give me a little music. Give her a hand. Give her a hand. Little music. There we go. There you go.
No music?
No
What's
music.
going
No,
on in the world?
yeah,
What are you doing,
missed it.
Shay? I mean,
Okay,
what's
next time.
happening?
Next time we have a little music.
You know I love to dance.
Take a bow.
A bow?
And they
Or
will
curtsy?
and they will have the music ready by the time you bow. Take a bow. Take a bow. Ta-da. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you E.R. Spalding.
I have the lavender on. Yes. Thank you. Hello, ladies. It's been a fantastic first day, hasn't it? Yes. And so we've been here, and I just have one simple question for you. Are you ready for that question? Yes. Can anyone guess what that question is? Not really? No? Where do you see yourself? Right? Where do you see yourself not only today, not only tomorrow, through this weekend, but where do you see yourself in the upcoming year, the upcoming 5 years? Because one of the things that I know is that you must see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. Right? You must see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. The big thing that we have, and go ahead and write this down. Write it down. Grab pen, piece of paper, a digital notebook. Write it down. Wherever you are in life, your mind got there first. Right? Wherever you are in life, your mind got there first. So we go back to the original question, where do you see yourself? See, we're here at the Success Women's Conference because this is not just about Kern. It's not just about Dorothy. It's not just about Tiffany's vision. This is about our vision, the vision that we see for ourselves as successful women. And so again, turn to your neighbor and ask your neighbor that very same question. Where do you see yourself? And then just pause for a moment and live in a place. I know they say, right? They say, I don't know who the they are, but they say at times, right, that you're not supposed to live in a world of expectation, right? If you don't expect anything, then your feelings will never get hurt. Well, we're going to squash that today. Today, we're actually going to live in a place of expectation. So you just asked your neighbor a question and expect an answer. So turn to your neighbor again and say, where do you see yourself? And then pause and allow her to give you the answer. Right? Because we never stop long enough to actually wait for someone to give us the answer. And we don't stop for ourselves to allow ourselves to give us an answer when we ask that question. But we are here. Our collective vision is to make sure that we as women are celebrated each and every day. Right? Not just one day out of the year, not just 1 month in March, right? The Women's March. But we are here to make sure that you as individuals are celebrated. And our vision is to ensure that we do that. That is the level of expectation that we have, that we all have for one another. So, what is the vision, our vision of Success Women's Conference? We want to become the number what? The number what? Raise your hand. The number one developmental environment, right, for entrepreneurs around the world. How many entrepreneurs do we have? If you're an entrepreneur, raise your hand. Actually, if you're an entrepreneur, stand up. Stand up. Hurry up. Come on. It's not the end of the day. If you're an entrepreneur, guess what? I'm talking to you, right? As an entrepreneur, we want to be the number one environment. But guess what? If you are a career-focused woman, how many career women do we have in here? How many career? Stand on up. Yes, go ahead. Give yourselves a round of applause. Right? All of our career women, we want you to stand up because guess what? We're talking to you too. And we want this to be the place where everyone comes, and clicker's not working, not sure what's happening. We want this to be the #1 place for women globally. Now, there are some individuals who are still sitting down. So I don't know if you are on the Jewel Tankerton train, if you're independently wealthy, you don't work, you don't have a business. What y'all doing out here? I'm just trying to figure. Actually, I'm going to come down here and ask that question. Because I want to know, right? We gave some instructions. We were like, if you okay, here we go. All right, yes. Oh, dear. We've got Connie out here. Okay, Connie. Right, so what do? Are you an entrepreneur?
No.
Are you a career woman?
No.
Okay, what do?
I'm a politician.
You're a politician? Well, how about that? She works for the people. That is a career. So congratulations.
Okay.
Thank you. We're going to give you a hug, right? And we are here because we couldn't do this without those individuals that we elect in office to work for us and with us. And that, again, becomes our collective vision, right? So the next generation of women, how many women leaders do we have? That's Connie. Wave. Wave for the people, Connie, right? How many global speakers do we have out there? Hey, I'm talking to you. I see Dr. Stephanie Barnes. That's my friend. Hey, Dr. Ayinka Finch, right? I'm talking to you. How many authors do we have out there? How many wannabe authors do we have out there? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Go ahead and have a seat. So ladies, this is really about our vision and what we see for ourselves. We want to be an incubator for thought leaders, right? For individuals who are ready to push ideas and agendas forward. This is the vision that we see for ourselves because we must see it before we see it or we'll never see it. And what we know is that wherever we are in life, our mind got there first. So your little tushy that's in this seat, guess what got there before you did? Your mind, right? So we want to be the #1 publishing house for women, right? Do we know of any? Can anyone rattle off the name, the #1 publishing house for women? Right? But Hay House does it just about for everybody. It's not specifically for us. This is the vision that we see for ourselves. And it would not be possible if you weren't here with us, right? So we are here to make sure that we are celebrated year-round, not just on your birthday, right? Not just on Christmas or Easter or Mother's Day or Auntie's Day or Happy Fur Baby Day. I'm a fur mommy, so I get it. But every single day. So if we see it, then tomorrow we will be the women who change the world. You are the women that are here to change the world. We are the women who are here to change the world. But guess what? We can say a lot of things. I think Shay asked one of those questions while we were there, right? Okay, now that we have it in our mind, how do we actually go about doing it? Has anyone ever been in that space? Like you saw it, you know where you wanted to go, you saw the car, you saw the shoes, you saw the family, you saw the husband, but it's like, how do I get them? Right? How do I get them home? How do I bring them in, right? So we're here and we're constantly, but curiosity is the birthplace of insight. Right? So if we allow ourselves to be curious about the things that we want to see and the places that we want to go, then our mind will begin to kick into action and the belief that we have will begin to affirm how we actually get there. So we want to be the #1 publishing house. We want to bring global leaders around. We want to continually have this success over and over and over and over and over and over and over, right? Again. But how do we go about doing it? We still working on the feed? All right, so we want to introduce what we know as Success Academy, right? That deserves a round of applause. Woo, 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 right? So what is Success Academy? Success Academy is an environment where we can get together and work, right? I think Deborah was sitting here and she was talking about how do you streamline, right? How to become like dolphin and wade through the water, right? And just get on through at a dolphin's pace, right? And so you don't have to go at this alone. There are places that we can claim what is rightfully ours as successful women. And so we have the Successful Women's Club. And you can become a leader in that club. Say, Spalding, how do I become a leader? Spalding, how do I become a leader? Ask me again. Spalding, how do I become a leader? Spalding, how do I become a leader? Funny you should ask. You want to know how to become a leader. So one of the ways that you can become a leader is just by joining us. Right? The very fact that you are in this seat today says that you are a leader among leaders and that you want to continue in that vein. But we're saying, come on, join us in the journey. And the second is to be as good of a student as you are a teacher. Right? How many of us are teachers in here? Everyone should raise their hand because everyone is a teacher. You teach your children, you teach your friends, you teach yourself all the time. But there are also instances where we have to sit down, shut up, and listen. A mentor told me that, and my mouth was agape when he said it. He was like, sit down, shut up, and listen. I was like, okay, right? But you want to make sure that you can be as good of a student as you are a teacher. And when we do that, we want to make sure that we commit to finish before we commit to start, right? We want to commit to finish before we commit to start. Now, why is that important? Because there's a lot of things that I started that I haven't finished, but when my mind got to the finish line, my butt got there also, right? So if we commit to finish before we get started, we'll make sure that we're there all along the way. So what's included inside of the Success Women's Club? Everyone say it with me. Success Women's Club. Success Women's Club. All right. Well, first, you get the Success Academy. This is a brand new offering, ladies, and it is built for women by women, right? There's something a little special when a woman's touch has been on it, right? I don't know who came up with the theory of waxing, but it had to have been a man. Right? You know, so there are 4 areas of success. We have business success, health success, career success, relational success, and all of these areas are touched upon when we are inside of this environment. You'll get access to the membership portal, right, where you can go get all of the fabulous trainings that have been here today, in addition to much, much more, the ones that are uploaded on a weekly, a monthly, and a yearly basis. You want to also mastermind with other individuals, right? 1 + 1 = what? Wrong answer, right? Who wants to try it again? 1 + 1 = what? Wrong answer. Don't keep saying 2. 1 + 1 = what? 11. No, I like that. But 1 + 1 actually equals 3, right? Because when you put 2 minds together, and they start talking about the possibility, and they start envisioning what could be in terms of the future, there is a third mind that begins to show up, and more ideas begin to bubble forth. See, this is some visionary mathematics. Let's say it with me. Visionary mathematics. So when someone says 1 + 1 = what? You say 3, they're going to say, no, it don't. And you're like, I'm doing visionary mathematics. I don't know what you're doing, but that's what I'm doing, okay? We also have access to Success Women's Nation. Right? And Success Women's Nation is part of what we're doing today. We get to get up and dance, and I need a little music. Still can't get no music. Where's the music? I mean, come on now. The DJ has gone to sleep, but leave it to a man to fall asleep on the job, right? You know, we have to do all the heavy lifting. And then we have the Success Conference live event. Again, how many individuals are enjoying themselves? And we just got through day 1. We still have 2 more packed days. So imagine going into 2020 knowing that you're going to be there and your butt is going to be in the seat. That's some visionary, right? All right, and we have the first ever Success Women's Retreat. Now, I love getting in my 17,299 steps. I really do. But I also love sipping a Mai Tai on the beach, right, in the retreat. And we can talk about all of the other successes and the future successes, right, while I'm getting a massage and the sun is setting. And so the first ever women's retreat will also be a part of the Success Women's Club. So there are various levels to these things. Can we say level up? Level up, level up, level up, right? So there are levels to this thing. So for some of you who you understand that this is for you, you have an opportunity to get a VIP ticket. I see all of these lovely ladies on the front row. We have some elitists in the room, and I don't say that in a negative way, okay? All right. Also, you'll be featured on the Success Women's podcast. Everyone turn around and say, hi, Crystal. Crystal runs that podcast. And so we're interested in you and making sure that you get celebrated for the things that you do. Have you subscribed to the podcast? The answer should be yes. Yes, yes. Crystal, did they subscribe, girl? Are the numbers going up? Did they subscribe? Okay, we're gonna do, I'm telling you, see, both of my parents were teachers. And the one thing that we could be rested assured of is that, one, you would get a pop quiz, and two, you couldn't get to the back of the book. You had to show your work. Remember long division? So tomorrow, we're going to come back with those numbers to make sure that everybody's subscribed, because nobody is skipping to the back of the book here, okay? All right, and so we also have our digital facilitators. And so this gives you an opportunity to be in this environment training. There were some individuals that said that there is more in what you know than what you do. And the impact that you make on the world is having the ability to share what you know with others, to train other individuals, because you have been an excellent student, i.e. you can be a what? An excellent teacher. And as a digital facilitator, we'll have the opportunity to do that. And you'll get access to Saturday morning trainings. Because guess what? We've all hit those bumps in the road. And all of those bumps in the roads are unique to each and every one of us. And so sometimes you have that business, bump that you can't get past. Other times you have that boss, you really don't know how to navigate that conversation, and you want to make sure that you have access to an individual where you can have a conversation and say, you know what, let's do a little strategy. Let's strategize about what's going on here to help get you to your next level. And for the first 10 people who actually sign up at the elite level, one of the things that you'll also be able to do is be a presenter for 2020. See, it's one thing to sit in the room and to receive all of this great information, right? But there is something that is magnetic about having the ability to give. And to give back to the community that you belong to, and to give back to the women where you share a vision. And you can do that when you become a leader inside of Success Nation. So we do have some bonuses. We have the virtual roundtable where quarterly we get together and we have these conversations where we can do check-ins and to ensure that everyone is on the right track, or at those times we can course correct when we need to. And we have the Women's Fast Track, because everyone knows that when you get started, sometimes you need a little more intensity, right? It's just like driving. You got those 4 weeks, you're anxious to get behind the wheel, but you still need, the guardrails on. And so the intensives actually help to jumpstart you in this process. And then there is Successfully Her. Remember we said that we were going to be the #1 publishing house for women authors? For all of those wannabe authors, or those who want to be second-time authors or third-time authors, you have an opportunity to become a part of the Success Conference Anthology. So the second question I have for you today is, will you join us on the journey? If you're a yes, raise your hand. Where are my volunteers? Right. Where are my volunteers? So if you join us, there are 3 ways to do it: as a member, as a leader, and as an executive. If this is something that feels right for you, if you want to continue on with this conversation, then you're probably asking the question, which level is right for me? Right? So at the member level, you're saying, hey, I need some immediate support in jumpstarting my success, right? I'm ready to dive on in, right? And I need some help. And then you can do that at the member level. But if you're a leader, you're like, I want to also serve my community. While I am being fed by the resources that are here and available to me because of the collective vision and the togetherness that these three powerful women have been able to put together. And then there is the executive level, and you're a woman, you know that you're capable of so much more, and you are ready to be in that position so you can continue to step into your purpose and help other women step into their purpose. So go ahead and text the keyword tribe. Pull out your phones, text the keyword tribe to 228-231-3903. What you'll receive back is a text message that will give you some additional information that you can take with you and begin to digest. Because again, success doesn't come for you. You have to go for it. And we would love to see you there on the journey with us. So make sure that you text TRIBE to 228-231-3903. All right, ladies, it has been a phenomenal time. Shay Brown, where are you? Did we ever find any music? I don't.
Give her a hand, give her a hand. One more time, give her a hand, give her a hand. Right. D.E.R. Spalding, one more time. All right, all right. All right, you having a good time? Yes or yes? Are you ready for more? Say yes. Well, the best is still yet to come. In all seriousness, let me go ahead and give you the instructions as we get ready to close down this session and start the next session. Let me tell you what's going to happen next and then how we're going to kick off tomorrow. First, there's the mixer that will be taking place in E4 and the lobby. There's a mixer taking place. You can leave right from here, head on over to the mixer. Now, for those folks that are part of the elite group, there will be a bus, a van, in the front of the convention center that will take you over to the White House dinner, over to the White House Hotel for the dinner. So you can just go right to the front of the convention center. There will already be a